Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in ZBA 25-1, Admir Tosca, petitioner for a variance to extend the number of stories on the structure from 2 to 3 to create a master suite on the premises numbered 1427 Quincy Shore Drive, Quincy. Make a motion to allow the withdrawal of the request without prejudice.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Mr. Franco, you'll be sitting out this one. Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, move to accept and waive the reading of the minutes for the regularly scheduled meeting of February 25, 2025.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I'm gonna take something out of order here because the council has to leave. We're gonna go 795 Hancock, ZBA 25-4, Attorney Patrick Foley, petitioner for a variance to construct a new two-family with 5 parking spaces on the premise 795 Hancock Street. Council, you're up.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Patrick Foley, business address 265 Willard Street, and I am the attorney for the project here tonight. I'm joined here tonight by Brian Saluti, who is our architect, and Gareth, who's our engineer for the project. The property we're here to discuss tonight is 795 Hancock Street. This 4,400 square foot lot is located in the Business B zoning district of the city. Currently, right now, this lot is vacant. But at one point, there was a standalone commercial spot on this lot. So there was a building footprint on here at some point. The applicant, Mr. Nutley, has been a resident for the city for over 20 years. Last year, Mr. Nutley had the opportunity, when he was speaking with Mr. Cohane, a longtime neighbor, longtime resident of that neighborhood, about buying 2 lots, one on Hancock Street and one on Clay Street. A few people were looking to purchase these lots off Mr. Cohane. And the reason Mr. Nutley was able to purchase these and get his offer accepted was because he made a pact with Mr. Cohane that he was going to do his projects to keep them in conformity of the neighborhood. So when you factor in the lot on Clay Street and the one he owns now on Hancock Street, you're talking a potentially 18,000 square foot lot utilizing the business district on Hancock Street. So you could have had a monster project at least proposed on that site that didn't fit into the neighborhood. Mr. Nutley promised that isn't what he would do. And if you look at what he's done on Clay Street up to this point, there's a single family home next to it, like I mentioned earlier. He converted those over to 3 condos, which were by right. It was a large lot where I'm sure he could have came to this board, the planning board, and attempted to do 4 units or 5 units on there. But he did a by right project because that's what he was committed to doing in the neighborhood, something that fits in. So what he's proposing to do here tonight on that vacant lot on Hancock Street is build a two-family home with 5 parking spots. If you're familiar with Clay Street, you know there's a handful of single-family homes on Clay Street, but for the most part, it's all multi-family residences. So again, this two-family home, for what he committed to do for the neighborhood, will blend into the neighborhood. When you go down the street, 111, 120, 132, 136 Clay Street, that's 4 examples of two-family homes right on that street of similar lot size. And the difference with our proposal and those 4 is that they're two-family homes and they have a driveway that might hold 1 or 2 cars. We're proposing parking for up to 5. So we're giving you more parking. Each unit will be 2 bedrooms. And I'll have Brian come up and just kind of go over the floor plan, the proposal.
For the record, my name is Brian Saluti. I'm the architect for the project. Name of my company is Brian Saluti Architect, and I'm located out of Weymouth.
Address?
The address, 5015 Newburgh Avenue.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'm here to describe the proposed project's location, and I will be describing the architectural plans that I put together for the project. And so I'll start off with the project's location. This is located at 795 Hancock Street that you see circled and highlighted in the middle of this aerial. And it's on the corner of Hancock and Clay Street. So Hancock runs diagonally on this aerial, and Clay is to one side.
Yes.
It's a vacant lot now, as Pat explained, and it's, you're looking at a tan spot in the middle right there. And basically what that is it's compacted gravel. They were using it as, I guess it was part of Cohen's operation at the funeral parlor, and I think it was for overflow parking, if I understood this right.
Oh, that's neat.
So now there's a new owner, and so
Not going forward.
we're going to propose a duplex on the property. Now, it was something before, it was a parking lot, actually. So I've got a picture of it, you can just,
Thanks.
it's a one-story residential-looking structure. It was retail, and everybody says it was a jewelry store back in the day.
It's the front.
In any case, the project's located in between St. Anne Church up here in the left-hand corner, and if that's in the northerly direction, and then between that and down south, a little past the aerial, is the stadium, and there's Central Junior High School, so it's in between the two. Across the street, there's a nice-looking park right here, and adjacent to that, there's a nice ball field, then you've got the tennis courts and the basketball courts that I remember as a kid. And so all of that is basically tied into the Marymount Park campus off to the far right. So the property's within walking distance to Wollaston Center in a northerly direction, and if you go down Clay Street, and you keep on going all the way down to the end till you run into Beale, you cross over Beale, and the Wollaston MBTA is right there. So between the center and the T, they're both, I don't know, less than a half a mile distance. So it's a nice little walk. It makes the site really ideal for residential. One more thing on this aerial. Notice this area to the left of the site. It's a highly populated neighborhood, and you can see that from the aerial. There's a lot of single families and multifamily type dwellings on the property, in that area. And evidence of this can be seen along Clay Street and south along Standish Ave. And most of those buildings in there, they're about, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe even 3.5 stories in height, so they kind of vary.
What are we doing with that building? Can you tell us what you're building, what you're putting in?
What are we doing with this building?
Yeah, can you go through the building, instead of the neighborhood? Could you just, like, move it on, please?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to, hang on.
Just leave it. Really? Down in the building, care about the neighborhood. We go to every place. Go there and look at it.
So we're planning on building a 2.5-story residential duplex on the property. Interestingly enough, the lot and the building side we're proposing, there's the site right there, it's on the corner, you can see it clearly now. It's interestingly enough, it's about the same size of the building, and the lot's the same size of the building next door at 799 Hancock Street. Almost like identical looking on site plan. The only big difference is that neighbor to the left at 799 is a business. And it looks like it has, and you can see it down here on the aerial. It looks like it has maybe an apartment above, but it doesn't. But the building next to it used to be Frank Bellatti's office, and then there's Solomon's Carpeting, and then there's, at the end of the block, there's a gas station. I'm pointing those three out. I just want to point out that they're right on the sidewalk, okay? There is no setback. So the building we're presenting should end up lining up with the abutter at 799 Hancock Street, which is about an 11-foot setback from the sidewalk to an open porch, and then the porch is about 5 feet deep. So you're looking at 16 feet from the sidewalk to the actual two-story building. That building's going to have a footprint of 29 feet wide by 36 feet long. Like I mentioned, it's going to have that porch out front. That porch out front is going to be affiliated with Unit 1. However, mail and packages and things like that can be left underneath that covered porch. So I'll go right into the proposed floor plans. So this is a duplex, and they're set up like flats. So the second floor is over the first, and there's a 2-hour rated fire ceiling separation that's required by code between them. There's also going to be bi-levels associated with these units. You can see the first floor unit over here on the left side. It's going to have bi-level access to the lower level. It's going to consume probably about 3/4 of that lower level. It should be approximately 1,200 square feet. And then there's a bi-level from the second floor unit, which you see here on the right side of the plan. And that's going to have a bi-level access to the attic area. And that unit there is going to be around 1,300 square feet. So it's a little bigger. Both units are going to have 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, an open kitchen, living, dining area, which you see as an example right here on the second floor. There's also going to be small bonus areas associated. We have an area down on the lower level, which is big enough to almost, it says entertain on it, it's big enough to put a pool table there. Up in the attic area for Unit 2, we have a little bit of a bonus area in front of the stairwell. Would make a nice study area, that sort of thing, where you have 2 windows right there. Like to describe the proposed elevation, if I may. Just to start, so you know, so I don't forget, the height is from grade to peak is 32 feet, like indicated on the drawing. And so I'll just mention that before I forget. So the front elevation kind of has that colonial New England farmhouse look to it with the porch out front. And it's also going to have gable ends on both the left and, both the front and the rear elevations. And then on the left and right side elevations, there'll be dormers midway on the roof for natural light into those attic areas. And it's also going to be asphalt shingle roofs, clapboard siding, going to be hardy plank most likely, and there'll be PVC trim and also double hung windows that will be consistent on all 4 sides. And before I close out on this, I just want to mention that there's going to be a second means of egress exclusive for Unit 2 that you can see on the left side elevation. That'll come with a small little deck area, which is a nice little perk for that particular unit. Now, before I bow out,
Are they gonna be condos or apartments?
it's a good question. Last we talked, there was gonna be condos, right? Okay, condos. Okay, I've got one more thing I'd like to show. The landscape plan that was done by Karen Goslin. She's a landscape designer, and I believe she's out of Abington. And there's a site plan in the middle. I'll admit it's not the most generous site for landscaping, but we're going to try to take advantage of what we have. And so you can see that we're showing grassy areas out front, lightly shaded in green. Karen's showing a couple of cherry trees that you see out front on the left side. And out the back, she's showing a Japanese lilac tree, which I'm not really that familiar with. There is a picture of one right there. And also some low-lying hedges along the front porch and along the intersection area where there's a curvature there. And then there'll be some plants up against the building itself, flowery type things like she's showing down here. Now, kind of a hard site plan to kind of read, so I took the liberty of drawing a little sketch. Trying to help explain it a little easier. Now you see the building colored up there. And now you can see the cherry trees that are out front. You can see the lilac tree in the back. You can see the landscaping out front, the low-lying hedges. And you also can see the green areas where there's grass. Now, that's pretty consistent with the building next door. Okay, so we're trying to create this little continuity, if you will. Now, if you look at those businesses beyond 1, 2, 3, those 3 buildings, you can see that they're right on the sidewalk. They don't offer any landscaping or anything. It's just, sidewalk. So I feel that, by adding this landscaping to the front of the property, it embellishes the property nicely, and it's a nice little touch for that intersection. And I'll hand the floor back to Pat.
Wait a minute, any questions?
No
Any
question.
questions?
No.
No,
not this time.
Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me, may I ask one question?
No, I'll get to you when it's time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I talked to the board. We give you a chance. You have plenty of time.
Mr. Chair, that concludes our presentation.
All right, I mean, I see what you did there. You got two bedrooms. It's a nice little place. You did nice for that little lot. I think you did a nice job on the building itself. Anyone have any questions for the council?
No.
No questions.
No questions.
Thank you. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in favor? First call. Name and address for the record, please.
Michael Graham, 76 Norton Road in Quincy.
76.
Norton, N-O-R-T-O. I think it's a nice plan, blends in with the neighbourhood, and Tom does very good work, so I don't think there's any problems. Be a big
Thank you.
asset.
Thank you for coming down tonight. For anyone else, want to speak in favor? Second call? Third call? All up part of the hearing closed. I got a letter here from the DPW. It's going to be read into the record. Mr. Himmel, if you could, please.
February 21st, 2025, 795 Hancock Street, ZBA 25-4. We've reviewed the submittal for the above referenced project. Our comments are as follows. 1, specify how much impervious area will be increased due to the development. 2, provide plans showing the existing site conditions, layout of utility, grading, drainage, and the construction details. 3, explain how the surface runoff will be discharged and treated. 4, provide the dimensions, grades, the paving area and all driveway entrances. 5, upon completion of the project, as-built plans showing all utilities, building footprints need to be submitted along with a digital file.
And just so you know, I found the letter here. There's a letter from Mr. Cohane, which he looked at the plans and he's very happy about the way you're building the building. Call it part of the hearing closed. Anyone opposed or undecided? You have a question, sir? Come on up. Name and address for our record, please.
Certainly. My name is John K. Brage. I live at 121 Clay Street. I like this picture. I went online and saw the other pictures that are there. My only question is, why 5 parking spots for 2 dwelling units? It seems like overkill, and it encourages having a dead car sit on the corner of the house.
I think when people have someone over or you're having a party on a Saturday, you got a couple spots there so people can park and they're off the street,
Good enough.
you know?
That'll keep them out of Ed Cohen's parking lot.
Right.
Fine. That was my major question,
Thank you, sir.
because it
Right.
is
goes on
a
across. Yep,
corner with a curve that comes up
Yeah.
quickly.
you're right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Opposed, undecided? Second call? Third call? Call up out of hearing closed? I'll be voting in favor. I think they did a really nice job on that. You know, two bedrooms, that's great. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with the plans. I was going to mention that if a fence is going to be put up, given that it's a corner lot, it's pretty busy Clay and Hancock area, that fence not be overly tall would block traffic.
Tim?
I'm in favor. I think they squeezed a lot of house into a small lot. It's not bad looking. I think it fits in the neighborhood. And I'm happy with 5 parking spaces, so I'm in favor.
Ms. Barry?
Question regarding the 5th parking space. Is your intention to deed it to one of the units or have it as a visitor space for both units?
The 5th spot will be for visitors.
Okay.
Each unit will have 2 spots.
Okay. I like the house, I like the design. I would like to see perhaps bike storage. There's no ground floor storage in your plan, bike, garden, snow blower, et cetera. It's only 2 units. So,
Make a comment to that?
Yeah, go ahead. In the basement, isn't there something in the basement?
You finished.
I see the mechanical room in the basement, but that's not ideal for bikes and strollers.
I mean, what was the question was?
I'd like to see ground floors, I'd like to see storage that's on grade for bikes, strollers, on grade. So in light of us allowing a 5th parking space, I'd like to see some ground floor storage for those items, which realistically, we know that demographic's probably going to have bikes and strollers.
And couldn't you put a bike rack on the side of it? Take care of that? I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't want to see something on the outside of that, like a building or a shed. I don't think it would look that good myself, with that lot, it's a small lot.
Maybe on the first floor, Marty, they can do a little bit more of a vestibule storage area.
Here, to the left of the, some trash cans here, but it was,
Yeah,
against the building. It's a little area here.
kind of place for a bike rack in there, I don't know what you got. for
It's got to be
storage. What do they got
indoor.
upstairs? I mean, plenty of closets, all right, so.
You can put it underneath the 2nd-story egress, too.
Yeah,
Something we definitely figure out.
Yeah.
so Brian,
In favor.
have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. With regard to ZBA 25-4, Attorney Patrick Foley, petitioner for a variance to construct a new 2-family dwelling with 5 parking spaces on the premises at 795 Hancock Street in Quincy. I move to allow the petition with restriction as to the height of fencing so as not to prohibit the traffic flow and an accommodation for bicycles.
Thank you.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Third one on tonight's agenda, 1 minute. Let's just. Get Clem going. Council's on overtime. Our council? Claremont, ZBA 2479. Everett Properties LLC petition for variance to subdivide the parcel and construct a 2-family dwelling, 1 parcel while retaining the existing 5-unit structure on the other parcel 23. Now, the only thing we were looking for was the plan for the parking for the other unit, correct?
Yes.
So we have that. Okay, counsel, if you want to explain what you got there?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I say first, I am covering for Attorney Edward Fleming. It was continued for a couple months, and Ed ran into a conflict, so he asked me to be here. He felt I'd be better because I have a better rapport with the chairman, so.
Hey,
Well, you look like them too.
it kind of looks like.
So, yeah, so again, we were here a couple months ago, and there were some questions that we fielded from this board, from a few members. One concerned the easement itself. So this is a subdivision A&R for 2 parcels. There'll be a proposed 2-family and an existing 5-family on that. They will share, the proposal is to share access to the parking area. The portion of the land is on the 2-family lot. So there is an easement that will be granted from the owner of the 2-family to the 5-family for shared access. There was concern, I think you had concern with respect to who will be maintaining the easement area. So the 5-family will be maintaining that. That is in the grant, which I believe you all have a copy of the grant itself, the written document. So hopefully that satisfies you with respect to that. So again, the 5-unit property will be maintaining the easement access, the entire easement itself.
Yeah, one more.
I know, but we have 5.
There was concern, and I happened to be here for the hearing as well, so I was able to listen in with respect to parking. I think the chairman had expressed some concern with respect to the parking. So on our site plan, you can see clearly here that actually at the board suggestion as well, we added a few spaces. So they are tandem spaces, but there are 3 additional.
Let me ask this.
Here.
Do you remember where
There's
the
another
spaces
space here as well. So that provides.
What happened to the,
They're gonna be tandem.
he was gonna put them beside the property up there and keep those 5 there and add a few more up front on the property. Remember when we drew them in this plan? We said, there's his 5 spaces. You come in, you get your 5 spaces. He was gonna put a couple spaces right up here on the property. Remember?
Up on the left and the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't my understanding, because I was here as well on another matter, but I.
Tandem parking, what good's that for who?
There was never a parking space on Claremont Ave. That sticking in the front was not discussed.
No, those tandems weren't.
And the one Marty,
Yeah, the other one,
On
yeah,
Claremont Ave.
I get that, but he's trying to get us as many as we can, but we're
Yeah.
supposed to have 2. We're trying to get at least 2 more up by their new building. So you pull on the lot, these people can pull right in and get right up. Tandem parking, that's it.
Charlie has a memory of.
I think that the tandem parking was to be assigned to the existing building,
Yeah, that's not,
but the singles to the right were the ones that were to be assigned to the condo.
but when we drew this up.
That's right, that's right.
We drew one on the top and one on the left on their property. We're
On
trying
both
to get on
sides.
his property because they want to split the property by
On south,
On the 2-family property?
Yes,
Okay, I don't remember that discussion. I know that was,
I do because I asked for it. And then I wanted the parking lot so they could come in and just park. Now you get tandem parking. We never talked about tandem parking.
Sorry, Mark Sullivan from Chew and Company, 1 Billings Road. So when we had discussed it, we had mentioned, so those parking spaces that you see right here
Yep.
were existing there. When we had talked last time, we discussed doing an additional 3 tandem spaces that are all of those spaces are allocated to that 5-family.
Those
There's,
5 really weren't there. They were all lined up against the wall,
which ones?
all of them.
These were exactly where they are right now on the previous plan. All we did
I
was
don't know what the plan said, but when I went there and I seen the stripes, all the stripes were going against the wall, that wall.
oh, correct, yes, but I'm sorry, this was always the plan that we
yeah,
had
that will
proposed.
be all redone.
No, I know that,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, I said, so they can just pull in and get out, because everyone parks in the street over there. I stayed over there 2 nights and watched them. They pull in the street and they go in the building, pull in the street and go in the building. And you got a giant lot back here, no one's using.
Yeah, I think many of the cars that you might have seen belong to the mosque.
No, they were going in the building. I watched them walk in that
Walk into the
building.
building itself. 'Cause my understanding, with Elizabeth is here as well this evening, of the existing five-family,
And there's a.
There are
go
three.
in the back way too. There's a doorway in the back, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a doorway of someone's apartment. I never seen no one go in that door. But you got tandem parking. Who's gonna park in the tandem lots?
Well, so all of these spaces are for the 5-unit building. These 3 would also be for the 5-unit building. And, I'm sorry. Basically, these 5 spaces would be for that 5-family. The 3 would also be for the 5-family, and then we would have an extra visitor, or 2 visitor spaces at the end here. We maintained the curb cut on Claremont Ave and created a permeable paver, additional parking spaces. That was the concern last time we came. When we had talked last time, we did mention specifically the tandem. Maybe there was some confusion back and
Never
forth.
talk tandem.
I think.
My note says we'd like a new lot design with different curb cut. My note says we asked for a different design, perhaps with a different curb cut.
Maybe come in the side there, right. They come in there instead, because they can't come in that street no more because of the building there. So we're gonna put 2 spots behind that building. You said you'd draw it up. Your brother said he'll draw it up, whatever he's gonna do to make sure that the condo association.
exactly where are you referring for the 2 spaces?
So you got 2 singles and 3 doubles, correct?
Right.
Suggested using this grassy.
Two singles. No, there's 4 single, or actually 5 singles, including the one on the
No.
front. 5
For that
singles.
building, you have 2 singles and 3 doubles. For the building.
Yeah.
The five-family itself, all singles, correct? They're all small one-bedrooms. Oh,
Parking spaces.
parking space,
There's,
3 doubles
yep.
and 2 singles for the 5 unit.
right.
And then you got 2 that are extra, or they go
There's a-
for your apartment building?
There's actually 3 single ones, because there's an additional one.
one
down
up front, I
there.
didn't even
Sorry
count
about
that.
that. And then 2 for visitors, and then there's a 2-car garage on each one of the units.
Right, where do those friends park? That's what we were talking about. So they'd have extra parking. This whole thing was about them having extra parking.
That's what these 2 visitor spaces would be for.
All right,
Right.
but then so you got 5 units, so 3 of them are gonna get 2, and 2 of them are gonna get, they'd have to be assigned, because they're tandem. Unit 1 would have to get 2, or whatever unit it is, because you just can't have people pull up there, and then no one can pull behind them.
No, and that would work. I think if you're living together, I think, to have the tandem will work. It's been proven to
No, I
work, when
get
you're
it,
living
but
together,
They gotta be assigned, you'd have to assign these to your unit.
and that could certainly be done.
And just to clarify, these 5 right here and this single one are all for the 5-unit
Yep,
building. The
Yeah,
3 are
there's eight.
also for the 5-unit
there's 8
building.
there and 1 there, there's 9
Yeah.
spots. You got.
And then there's 2 visitor spaces for the new proposed 2-family, along with the 4 spaces
That they
that are
have
provided in the
underneath.
garage.
Right,
Right.
how's this gonna be drawn up that when they have a few people over on a 2-family each, they don't take 4 spaces away from the people that live there?
Okay, but if
I mean, they're gonna have designated spaces, they have to.
And they will be,
we give them.
certainly. And, you could spell a lot of that out.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
with
it's
an
gotta be
agreement.
spelled out though,
It-
and the people living there, because they ain't really.
And it will be, and those will have to be defined on
People
who,
get
on
in
who's,
fistfights over-
no, I think it will have to be defined on who exactly is parking where, without a doubt.
I would think.
Just to sign
Right,
them.
Single under
So you got all single bedrooms, you're
I
saying
was looking
that?
at that.
That's right.
2
They're all
cars,
one
but
bedroom.
They're all one-bedroom, small one-bedrooms, yes. Any more questions on,
Are they single, or are they tandem, or are they double garages?
they're side by side.
Side by
Side by side,
Yeah,
okay.
side by side for, 2 for each of the
All right,
units, yeah,
thank you.
for the 2-family, right.
So what we have, yeah, we got tandems out there, it's gotta be assigned.
Yeah.
It's a shitty parking lot, I don't like it, but I don't know.
As long as they're assigned, you should,
Yeah,
they probably.
and then you wanna go over this plan you gave us?
Yeah, so I did hand out that was requested by this board, a landscape plan. This will be a landscape plan for both properties. Chairman had a couple comments with respect to the upkeep and the maintenance of the property itself. My client, Elizabeth, has only owned the property really late 2023. There was a lot of concentration given to the interior of the 5 units within the building. She completely renovated 3 of the 5, without neglecting the exterior. The plan all along, if this was approved by this board, is to do all the exterior, including landscape for both properties. So the intention, it was always there. It was just, allowing her to get into the units, to fix them up a little bit so she can get the proper rent to
Get the
to pay
rent
for
money, then-
Exactly, right, right.
I got it.
So she achieved quite a bit. So always the intention to improve these properties, exterior as well. And she is not an absentee landlord. She
No, I get it.
she lives locally as well.
All right. Tell your brother you talked me into that one. I guess I'm fine with it. So,
Yeah,
Jim?
I'm counting 15 spaces in total.
Yeah.
Yep.
15 parking spaces, yeah. I have no questions.
Stan?
Yeah, one would think that those additional parking spaces keep people off the street over there, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Especially, when the plow and stuff. We had snow this year.
Then it'd be nice to see some landscaping, that'd be,
Yeah.
Always nice.
He's got a nice little plan there, he's
Yeah.
gonna put around, so that'd be nice.
those
Darryl?
dogwoods you're gonna put?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't care for the parking space up front that they want to add.
I don't need a,
I'd rather see another curb cut and make the tandems. I'd rather give them more asphalt on the side so those 3 tandems can be pull-in spaces.
I mean Claremont, just come out Claremont right in?
Yes,
Another curb cut?
yes.
And have what, 2 spaces there off of,
No, you get
This
3
is
there.
ugly, so
three
get rid of
tandems?
this random.
Put it-
Do away with the front, okay.
Front.
Put a
Okay.
curb cut there and just.
I'd rather give you another curb cut on Claremont and make these 3 spaces so you can pull in so they're not tandem.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so 2 curb cuts on that
In
extension of Claremont.
Yeah,
at that
I don't
point.
want this front parking space is not.
Yeah, the only reason we did that was because there's an existing curb cut, so our thought was to not necessarily create another one.
I
but
think
that's
that looks
just a-
terrible. I'd rather give you another curb cut here and have these 3 spaces be more usable.
Okay,
And I think that would satisfy Counselor Aiken as well.
so access those right directly from Claremont?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the easement, we need to modify that these 2 parking spaces are for visitor use for the townhouses.
Okay.
That's not in your easement currently.
I mean, you're only
Okay.
gonna lose one spot, right? If you cut it in.
That would be my suggestion,
Yeah.
Counselor
I'd
Aiken.
rather do
But
that.
I'd like to make sure that you,
Right.
visitor
Oh, I
spaces
think-
are assigned
Be able to- if
to
there's
the
no-
townhouses and the
there's a small
easement.
car in the back,
That hasn't been written in
you can
yet.
get out.
Do you want them assigned, or is it visitor for both
No.
both properties?
Visitor
Vi- Visitor for the
townhouses.
townhomes. Okay,
2 of the parking spaces, which per your property line will be on the 5-family, should be eased, the townhouses need to be granted use of 2
Well,
of
they're
the
gonna,
parking
they're gonna do a
spaces.
combination, you said, right? Both properties?
yeah, so the easement essentially can define the access just to those other spaces,
Yeah.
and not to those 2.
No, and those 2 there, though.
These are gonna be condos, they're gonna sell them off, so I want the
Right.
condos to have an easement for 2
Right,
of the visitor
2 spaces,
spaces.
right.
Yeah, you
They
don't
need
want,
to
Have
add
to
that to
write
the
it in
easement
deed, that's all it's
agreement.
gotta do.
Easement
Oh,
agreement.
okay.
yeah, you don't want any mutual use easement
Yep.
on that.
Okay.
So, Brian,
Wow, I'm good.
wow. Awesome. Awesome, thanks. Is there anyone, now that we get the parking squared away, does anyone have any questions on this? Because we already had, that's the only thing we asked for is this, and they gave us what we wanted, but if someone's got any questions, we'll answer them. Anyone have any questions of the parking out there?
Actually, if I could ask one thing,
Go
just because I want to make sure it's exact. So leaving these 3 spaces exactly where they are,
Yeah,
making another curb cut right here,
yeah, if the DPW lets you,
Sorry.
if not, it'll be out, but we're gonna.
and then being able to pull into those spaces, so basically having a second driveway.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
And eliminate
And
your.
dumping-
Eliminate the one on the
Yeah.
front.
In
Yep.
the
You'll lose a spot in the corner, but I mean, it's so close to the corner, I don't know if they park there anyway.
You're talking about this space, yeah,
No, the corner, cutting it in, making the curb cut
The
to that
front
corner. I don't even know-
Oh, on the corner
I
there,
don't even
yeah.
know if they'll put it.
Street
in.
parking, yeah. Okay.
I think paving, we'll have to pave more.
I agree.
To access the space, I don't think that will be an issue. because it's not within the front setback,
You're all set.
so it should be okay. I'm all set,
You're all
okay,
set.
okay.
Just wanted to clarify, sorry.
You have a question, sir?
We'll submit a
Fine.
plan, though. We want to see the plan.
Yeah, Of course, yes.
Well, that'll all be included, right? Yeah, and you can give it to Mr. Conlon, so we can just move right along.
Hi, my name is Jack Mayo. I'm a resident of 16 Claremont Avenue,
All right?
and I want to thank the chairman for expressing a lot of my concerns just a minute ago. And now I'm more confused than I ever was. And
Me too.
my,
Here's what we're looking to do, and I'll show you.
yeah,
See right here in the corner, we're trying to put another curb cut there. So these aren't tandem spaces, they can just pull in.
yeah, this is 23.
I really want to get rid of that spot.
This is 23, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and.
So I want to I don't want a spot in front of the house. I think it looks stupid. No.
The other thing is, I understood it when we were here 2
Yep.
months ago, that it was gonna be a curb cut here, and it was everything was gonna be going into there.
We were, but then we got tandem parking. You know what happens when you get tandem parking? People don't use it.
Yeah.
So if they have a little curb cut here, just to get in here, then they just pull for these 3 spaces. And that way there, they can use these too. So you can get in this way or this way here, you know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. My biggest concern, and I go back to it, and this was my expression when we first time it came here.
All right.
And that was regarding the parking. Now, you hit on a lot of it a few minutes ago. The biggest concern I have with parking, of course, is it's wonderful. Look at all these parking spots they're gonna have. Wanna know how many they're gonna use?
Exactly.
0.
Well, I was there 2 nights and
Yeah.
I watched and they parked out in the street and
And
I
that's-
walked in the front door and I'm going, you get this big giant lot here. Now we're gonna put a house here. You still gonna use?
I've lived there for 60 years,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm a
So you know
little,
what's going on.
I'm familiar with the neighborhood. And I think a lot of people are of the understanding that this is Claremont Ave here.
Yep.
And it stops here, it becomes Lawrence Street.
Yep.
Claremont Ave goes around the corner,
Right.
up to South Street.
Right.
That's still Claremont Ave.
Yep.
Are there parking restrictions on Claremont?
Well,
No,
sure,
they all parked there.
they all park there.
They'll park
So-
in the
They're
street.
allowed to park there?
No, well, they're not allowed to park on certain areas of it,
Yeah.
but
But they park everywhere.
they park everywhere, and I can go back to of course, the biggest problem would be the mosque. The mosque have their services on Fridays from 1 to 2. We just had a fire on Chubbuck Street in one of the buildings right beside the mosque. Now, it so happened at the time that fire happened, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Had that ever happened during the time that services were going on, you can't hardly park in Quincy Point when they have their services on Friday. Chubbuck Street is full from one end to the other. Every other side street, my street, they're up on the sidewalks down both sides of the street. A fire engine's gonna come down here, they're gonna be, I don't know how they're gonna get in there. But anyway, and the biggest concern I have, and you expressed it, and I would express it again, is that the parking spaces are a wonderful thing. Oh, there they are, everything's good, everyone's gonna pull up, and we'll be great. It's not going to happen. There's
Well,
an
and talk to the
apartment building,
counselor, maybe you put up some signs, I don't know, 4-hour parking or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
there's an apartment building
That
right
might-
behind me on Lawrence Street.
Right. Might,
They have a nice big apartment building, they got a great big parking lot. Guess where they park? They park out on Lawrence
on the
Street.
street. Yeah.
They just put a thing up, Watson Towers across from the shipyard.
That's
Great
why
big
tandem-
beautiful building.
tandem parking sometimes just doesn't work. People don't do it.
They don't do it,
Don't
that's
do it.
right. So
Right. So if we can give another entrance, you'll have an easy in, easy out both ways.
what kind of things can the board or planning board or whoever would make these decisions do to enforce that these kind of things can be resolved? What can we do about that?
Council.
Got that fella right over there.
Okay? Kidding.
He can put up signs, he can do some different stuff, he can get down there and
one of these times, there's
gotta be
gonna be a
set, right?
tragedy down there.
Right, and if you got a parking space, you should be in there.
Yeah.
You should be off the street.
I'll agree with the parking situation down there, but I'm confident that we're proposing a well-defined parking area.
Oh, no, he knows that.
Unlike it is today.
No, he knows
But I think
that.
that will promote people parking in the lot.
And if it's
not-
nice,
Not on the
'cause
street.
Even right now, it's all bumpy and everything else.
Right.
Once it's finished and nice, people will park up there.
Yeah,
And they're less apt to have their car broken in too,
right,
once you're off the street.
right.
I'll believe that they're gonna park there when I see the cars there.
Well, that's up to the owner too.
I
The
know.
owner can tell them,
Yeah.
you have to
She'll
park.
advise all
Yeah.
tenants as well.
Well, I heard a comment made a minute ago that the owner is not an absentee landlord. You got, didn't you talk about that?
No, I'm.
So in other words,
Lives in Quincy.
so she is an absentee landlord.
Absentee, that means you never rent your property,
Well, I take absentee to make you not pay.
ever.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else have any questions, Counselor?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Richard Ash, Ward 2 City Councilor, 7 Silver Street. I might not have a question, so don't kill me, Chairman.
As
But
long as you don't yell at us, we're all right.
I was similarly, I thought there were going to be some spots closer to the front of the building after the last meeting. So that I like that a lot more, to have that second curb cut with those spots going in. The parking issues surrounding the Islamic Center are not new to the area. And, they've been discussed many times with QPD, with all the boards. It's very hard and against a lot of morals to ticket during religious ceremonies, as I'm sure some of you can appreciate. So that being said, I don't even know that Attorney Ed Fleming, when I sent him the video of the parking outside of the mosque on this particular area a few weeks ago, I think even he wasn't going to expect what I sent as a video. There were cars everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. I don't want to conflate the issues. I understand that with these two spots, that presents a good amount of parking for this building. I think with that second curb cut and getting rid of the parking spot in the front as proposed on this iteration is better.
You want it out front of the building?
No.
No, I don't either, no.
I will say, I had a community meeting last week on a proposal at 506 South Street, which is right around the corner. And that was for 21 condos, 21 units, 3 stories. That's directly around the corner from this property. So we'll have to look at, something's going to end up going in there, whether it's going to be that size or not. We'll have to look at the traffic and the signage as well. But I do think a second curb cut would help a lot to get into those tandem spaces. And I am happy to, while we're on the record, it would behoove the landlord to tell the tenants also to park in the parking lot too, and I'm sure she'll be happy to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Counsel. Is there anyone else? Okay. Let's, I'll be voting in favor.
Subject to,
Just, we're gonna put in the other curb cut. And he's got
another plan.
a landscape plan too.
Okay.
That he'll take care and make sure it's done.
Would you like a motion?
Yes, well, I just wanna see if the other people.
Okay.
Mr. Himmel?
No, I'm in favor, especially with the additional curb cuts. It makes it needed, they may actually use it, so.
Ms. Barry?
I'm in favor that the easement is recorded, the two visitor spaces are added to the easement for the use of the townhomes.
Yeah.
I'm in favor.
We have a motion, please.
All right, Mr. Chairman, on CBA 24-79 Ever 8 Properties LLC, petitioner and owner for a variance to subdivide the parcel, construct a 2-family dwelling on one parcel, and while retaining the existing 5-unit structure on the second parcel on the premises numbered 23 Claremont Avenue, Quincy, move to allow the petition subject to the recordation of the easement, the addition of a curb cut on the Claremont Street side to allow access to the public street for the 3 tandem parking spaces. And was there anything else?
Lose the front parking space in front
On
of
Claremont
them.
Ave.
Remove the single parking space located on Claremont Ave. and incorporate the landscape drawing that was presented to the board.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
It's 2 sheets.
2 sheets.
Marty, we put you,
Yeah,
how about,
you take it off? Fine.
See?
So Brian's out.
Brian.
He's gonna sign this, Charlie.
Well, it's still, yeah.
Charlie, sign this up.
I'm gonna go down the far end. I'll become Mr. Irrelevant. It's like a strainer, it comes down here, it's clear. What happened to me? Everyone gave him the. Yeah, I don't blame him.
See you 2 weeks, Charlie. See you 2 weeks.
Did we already withdraw 1427?
Yeah, he did that instead of making the motion. So then he did-
Charlie needs to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Charlie, you gotta sign something.
All right, Brian.
All right, now we're on.
Yeah.
There you go, you're live.
My wife signed mine. Darrow Street,
Darrell. Hey, guys,
Petition.
you take it out, please. Thank you. Under new business, Aaron Cavan. Aaron Cavan.
I have a letter.
Special permit for place finding variance, remove the existing. Did you sign that, Charlie?
I did.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
John,
Remove the
Charlie
existing
Steiner?
rear deck, construct, you said he did. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he
And a
did.
one-story flood compliant addition in its place in the premise number 133 Darrow Street. Applicant representative here. LaRoche, you're up.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you, Brian LaRoche, 67 Mears Ave, Quincy, Mass. Here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Aaron Cavan. The property is located in House Neck, Darrow Street. And as we zoom it's between Rock Island, Macy, and right at the edge of the AE flood zone 11. The existing home that's there is on a narrow lot, and what we're proposing is to put an addition to the rear. There's an existing deck that's nearly identical in size of what we're proposing for the addition, which will be removed. This is a one-story addition. The width of the house, which is approximately 18 feet wide, and we're proposing 20 feet back for the addition. You can see in our proposed plan, we're keeping the alignment and horizontal extension of the existing dwelling. At the front, there's a small area where we're going to make a farmer's porch just to give the property a little bit of curb appeal and help them with the winters so the wind doesn't blow right into the small house. So it's a very modest, small addition that we're proposing here. And you can see the elevations. It's pretty simple in construction. We're proposing to put it up on helical piles, so it's essentially posted up. So the water will be able to continue to flood the area as it does now. So really, almost no change in terms of what's going on the property, other than its enclosed one-story addition with a side entry. So pretty straightforward with that.
I know you got a small lot, it's 2,700 square feet, and
Yep.
the driveway isn't even his, correct?
No, there's a property that's a small parcel of land that's beside. There was a house there a while ago, and the city tore it down under the blight ordinance. So the two property owners, Aaron and his neighbor on the other side, I don't know their name, are trying to purchase the property that's listed there as Mary Callanan, but they have had no luck. They have been trying. So the two neighbors.
She just saying no, or you can't get in touch with her?
They have made contact, but there's no interest in doing anything with the property.
I mean, if
So
someone
they,
buys it, what are you gonna do for parking? If you're adding on to this house and you don't even have a driveway,
yeah, it's a very small
but you're gonna
parcel.
have a car,
I don't know that you could even develop that property.
right?
It's so small, it's 25 feet.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, I don't know,
Yeah.
someone puts it, who knows?
Yeah.
Yurt.
Right.
Big shed on it, who knows, right?
So the two property owners are maintaining it. They are working very hard to get it back. So they're hoping through adverse possession over time that it'll become theirs because they maintain it. And they'd like to just split it and take it
Right.
over, but,
Right.
yeah, because they're absent owners. They have not.
What's the problem with not getting it? You got a hold of them, but what's going on with that? You got a hold of the property owner.
It
what
was,
happened?
person who acquired ownership,
Yeah.
it was through an estate.
Mm-hmm.
So the person doesn't even live in the state of Massachusetts. So they honestly, they don't even care about the property, but they don't even want to deal
Are
with
they
it.
paying
So,
taxes on it?
I don't believe so.
Did you look?
I don't know for sure.
The
No.
city might take it and you just buy it from them maybe.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of
They
their
have a
hope.
tax auction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, tax taking, the
where's
city
the owner? Are
doesn't,
you the owner, sir? Who's the owner here?
Aaron's not present.
Oh, he's not?
Yeah,
Oh,
no. So,
I'm saying, we're building onto a house that's already 50 feet long or whatever,
Yep.
and you don't even have a driveway.
yeah, this
That's
is,
my problem.
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
In Narrow Street, you shouldn't be parking on that street, you know?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, yeah. So Aaron and his family, he's the pastor of Life Community Church
Yeah.
on Washington Street. You know, the
Yeah.
kids have all been in the scouting program. They're very
No,
active in our
I
community.
mean, I'm a Mecca,
Yeah.
I get it, but,
Yep.
but we're building a house with, I mean, do you think we can put this off a month and maybe somehow you can maybe get a hold of the owner or something and?
He has tried multiple times. I did talk to him about
I'll
it.
give the solicitor call him up
Mhm. Okay.
and say you got a piece of property and I'll find out if he didn't pay his taxes. Someone should find that out. Did anyone look to see if he paid taxes?
I'll find out. I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, you think the owner, if you want to buy a piece of property, the first thing you do is get down there, especially if they don't live there, is the guy who's paying the taxes.
Yeah,
Do you know what the address is on that parcel?
I don't know offhand. No.
Huh?
On the
address
adjacent
is on the
parcel?
Adjacent parcel?
No,
It's probably 135, 131, whatever it is.
I'm not sure what they are.
133A.
I think at one time this was one parcel,
I
with two
just would like
houses
to
on
know
it.
more about
Line, let's see. if-
what we're doing before we put an addition on a house that's already pretty big. And I know it's just a one-floor addition, but 1 month ain't gonna hurt nothing until we can find out a little more about the property and maybe get a legal place to park. You know? I mean, I feel bad, but that's the way I feel. I don't know how other people feel. They don't have
Would
a
their,
driveway.
if they were able to acquire that property, would their proposed addition change?
Nope, not at all. They would propose the same thing.
Timothy O'Connell.
No, it's split it in half. And both
But they
owners
wouldn't
should
change how they would
No, I'm
modify
just
it.
wondering
yeah.
if they would
Oh,
do something different for their
Yeah, for the
addition.
fourth area.
2024 have not been paid.
Huh?
There's 1,300 due on 2024 fiscal, and
All right. Let me talk to the solicitor if you want.
If it's
Want
more
to
than
put
2 years,
this off
maybe in
for a
collections,
little
I'm
while,
not sure.
guys? No offense, we
Fine
should
with me.
find out what's going on. We don't even have a driveway for this property. And where Darrell Street is, I mean, you might park in there on a Sunday and everyone will be careful, but that's about it because
they're behind on 25
it's a
also.
lot, it's a lot. Oh, okay.
Guy's name is Timothy O'Connell. That's the guy who's care of now.
Maybe gets an offer on the phone from the city solicitor, someone wants to buy it, pay your taxes and everything else, who knows? But someone should look into it. If he gets a letter from maybe the Timmons, it might
By
help
the,
this guy
by
have a
the,
driveway,
by the
right?
tax.
I don't mind helping him and going up there and doing the legwork. I don't care, as long as
What do they
the
charge
guy
you for
could
that
get
house?
a parking,
In-
a real parking. Maybe he can double it up. Brian. Put a double wide there. You're gonna pull in and back, right?
Airstream.
Well, you can add two spaces instead of tandem. It's so brutal, tandem parking, especially that street. Or if you could grab that land, right?
How far away are you from adverse possession?
I think it's wild. Aaron has lived there about 15 years.
Oh, another 5 to go.
So
Yeah,
you got to still have quite a ways to go. What is it, 30 years? I don't, adverse possession, I'm not
What you want
sure.
to do?
You probably.
I don't know, why don't we do 4 weeks? 20,
Yeah.
25th? No. Yeah. Oh, I got it right here. Where am I?
that's July.
Filed
I got it right here. Oh, never mind, that's just,
it.
March, April?
So we got the 25th, and then
April
we have the
25th.
8th and 22nd of April.
April 12th.
April 8th or 22nd.
8th, wait a minute, that's only 3 weeks, right? Why don't we go the next one,
22nd?
22nd? April, and then we can find out what's going on with the property. I mean, I was down there looking at it, and I go, oh my God, then I look at the plot plan, there's no parking on the place, I go, poor guy.
April 22nd work for you?
Got it? Yep, it works.
All right, April 22nd. Okay. Is there anyone here to speak on that property? No? Okay.
All right.
Can we make a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, with respect to ZBA-25-7, Aaron Cavan for a special permit / FPOD finding and variance to remove the existing rear deck and to construct a one-story flood-compliant addition in its place on the premises numbered 133 Darrow Street, Quincy. I move to continue the matter to April 22, 2025 at 6 o'clock PM.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
You're the winner tonight. Attorney Patrick Foley, case number ZBA 25-8, for variance to gut the existing dwelling, remove the roof, and construct with an additional story on the premise 132 Holbrook Street. You're up, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Patrick Foley, business address 265 Willard Street, and I'm the attorney for the project here tonight. I'm joined here with Galvin Driscoll, who's the architect for the project. The property we're here to discuss tonight is 132 Holbrook Road. This 4,080 square foot lot is located in the residential A zoning district of the city. Currently on this property is a 1.5 story single family home. What the applicant is seeking to do here tonight is keep the footprint of the building the same and go up 1 story and make the existing home 2.5 stories, which is still in compliance with residential A zoning. What they're looking to do with their ultimate plan is, it's a 3-bedroom home. So with the addition going up, the bedroom count isn't gonna change at all. And Gavin's gonna go over the floor plans in a little more detail. But the gist of it is they have 3 bedrooms on the first floor right now. They're gonna keep 1 on the first floor, do a full renovation on the first floor, give more living space, and move 2 of the bedrooms upstairs. The other issue with the property right here, right now, is they don't have any parking spots. So they're looking to create a parking spot, which is imperative because they have a special needs person living in the home that they take care of. So they're looking for a spot because they can't get a parking spot in front, handicap parking in front, because it's an emergency area of the street. So Gavin's gonna go over the layout in a little more detail and discuss the parking in front, in the driveway.
But everyone down there parks on the street.
Right.
Thank you. Gavin Driscoll, Lighthouse Architecture and Design, business address 180 Allen Street, Braintree, Mass. The existing house is a 1-story, 1,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We are going to rip off the roof and add living space on the second floor and also in the attic. Like Pat said, the first floor is going to be kitchen, living, dining, with the new set of stairs going up to the second floor. And then in the back of the house, there's currently an existing bedroom and bathroom where the current occupancy or the current owner's parents live. And then on the second floor, we're going to have the 2 bedrooms with 1 bath. And then just because of the proportions of the new roof on the 3rd level, there is going to be some living space, just storage on that 3rd floor.
Second floor, right?
Third. Onto the 3rd floor, just with the new proportions.
The attic, right?
In the attic space, yes, correct. Like Pat said, we are going to try and get that parking space in the front of the house. They do have a handicapped spot there. If you look at the site plan, there was some kind of curb cut before there that it looked like it was really, really small. And it is the only house on the street that doesn't have a driveway. And especially because of during the snow emergency, and obviously with her brother being autistic, parking is obviously an issue. So be able to get that spot in that front there would obviously help the.
You got the handicap spot, you can't fit one car in here. Beside the house, you mean, try to put one in?
Yeah, well, we're gonna rearrange the front entry and you will have the 19.6.
Are you cutting that porch back?
Well, yeah, we're cutting that porch back to have 19.6 by
I measured it
9.6.
today, when I said, you got like 12 feet, you just won't fit a car there. huh?
Yeah, we're gonna rework that front entry to get that 19.6. It's pretty similar to what the person directly
I
to
get
the
it.
right of the property
Good idea.
did to get that one spot so that,
You gotta rip the front of your house off and get a parking space in there, all right?
it does, it's, right now it's just a sunroom and there's no foundation.
Yeah,
so
and you
we
only
really-
got 2 feet on the other side. so you can
Exactly,
get
to
there.
make that extra space to make that work.
Right.
And I can take any questions if they're,
So you're gonna have a 3-bedroom house, correct?
3-bedroom house, correct, yes. And the layout was specifically done with the stairs and stuff because of, he is autistic, the way that we laid out the stairs in the living room, we kind of did it in a way that would help the setup, so.
Yeah, I have no questions.
No question.
No questions.
Ms. Barry, any questions? Ms. Barry?
How deep is the parking space going to be?
It's 19.6.
Okay.
The front of the house is, they're chopping.
Yeah, so like
Just looking at
the
the
sunroom, yeah, so there was, it's, if you look at the picture directly, the house directly to the right, they did the same thing, is the main part of the house is 19.6 from the property line, and then just the way that the sunroom is, we're gonna chop off that little part of it.
Sure.
Still have the entry, the mudroom, and
Stairs stay the same place.
they're probably gonna move over a little bit, they're kind of falling off right now anyway, so that they're gonna be reworked in a way that makes sense.
Okay. Looks
No
good.
questions.
Michael, thank you. Is there anyone, you can have a seat. Does anyone want to speak in favor? First call, second call, third call closed. I have a letter here from the DPW. We reviewed the above reference project and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call, second call, third call closed. I'll be voting in favor.
Favor.
In favor.
In favor.
Have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, ZBA 25-8, Attorney Patrick Foley for a variance to gut the existing dwelling, removing the roof and reconstruct with an additional story on the premises 132 Holbrook Road, Quincy. I move to allow the petition.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Have a motion adjourned?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, so moved.